Student request, making grid drawings look more realistic. A grid is a great tool for drawing. Here are some tips to get the most out of grids. Tip 1, use a black and white picture. Click here to open the layer settings. Click HSL adjustment, huge, saturation, and lightness. The middle bar is the saturation. Drag it all the way to the left. Tip 2, make your grid smaller. All of her face is pretty much in C to F and 5 to 9. Her right eye is in square D6, but does that really help me? If I make the squares smaller, then I have more references. So now I can see that her right eye really only takes up the top half of D6. If I make the squares even smaller, then I have even more to go by. Think about it like video game graphics. The smaller the squares, the more realistic. Big squares equals low resolution, not very realistic. Smaller squares equals high resolution, more realistic. This drawing is sped up exactly 10 times. I start by drawing my grid. I'm only planning on drawing her face, so I need a grid 4 squares wide and 5 squares high, so the squares are 2 inches. All of her face is between C5 and F9. To make it easier, I will divide my grid squares, first into halves, and then into fourths. Tip 3. Block out everything but the squares you're drawing. I'm ripping a sheet of paper into large L shapes. This way I can lay them over the picture and all I see is one square at a time. Tip 4. Just draw the shapes you see. I have no idea what this is, it's just shapes. I think it's curly hair, but I'm just trying to see the shapes. This isn't an eyebrow, it's just a dark shape that's in these squares. Notice that I'm drawing lines just to make the shapes, and then I'm shading them in. Tip 5. Remember the value scale. The face is not made of lines, it's made of shaded shapes. Try to notice the difference between the values. Some shapes will be shaded black, some medium gray, some dark gray, and some will be shaded light gray. These tips will definitely help you, but you also need practice. Every drawing you do will get better. Don't worry if your drawings aren't perfect right now. Just try to learn from your mistakes. Even experienced artists make mistakes. I accidentally put the mouth into the wrong squares. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Just be ready to fix them. Remember, this isn't a mouth. It's just dark gray and medium gray shapes. So start with a black and white picture. Break your grid into smaller squares. Block out everything but the square you're working on. See everything as shapes. And shade those shapes in with different values. Try it out.